transfer data onto your computer for editing. The LCD monitor on this camera is touch sensitive. When you hold your finger on the LCD monitor for at least 2 seconds, it brings up some menu items that you can access. The lens on this camera has an optical image stabilizer, and it is 24 times zoom. Here are some accessories that I think you need to consider buying when you get this unit. One is an external, probably unidirectional microphone, or you can go with a stereo microphone, but some external microphone, because the inbuilt microphones on these cameras are not that great. The second thing you need to consider buying is a battery charger. The setup on this unit is that you are able to charge your battery directly on the camera while it is attached. Consider buying an external battery charger. You may also consider getting extra batteries. That's always a good idea. When you open the LCD panel or the display panel, you will find your power button. The Panasonic X2000 can record in 3 different formats: the MOV format, MP4 format, and the AVCHD format. The one thing I really like about this camera are the options that you have to connect to an external monitor or a TV or projection. You can do that using the professional BNC cable, using the SDI out, or the full HDMI out terminals. The camera also has a USB 2 port that allows you to connect your camera directly to a computer and transfer your files for editing without the need of card reader. The Panasonic X2000 has streaming capabilities. The camera is able to connect to wireless LAN devices via a network. First of all, you can control your camera remotely via the app, but you're also able to stream audio and video over a network. At the front, you have your lens hood, and the lens hood also houses your lens cover. Behind the lens hood, you have 2 rings. The first ring is your focus ring, and that is the wider one that you use to focus when you are in manual mode. And the one behind it is your zoom ring, and that is what you use to zoom in and out to that zoom ring, so that you can open and close the aperture using that ring instead of using it as a zoom. The next thing you'll see on the body is the ND filter. This is very useful when you are shooting in very bright sunlight. So there's built-in ND filters that allow you to cut out some of the light when you are shooting in very bright conditions to adjust your exposure. Next, you have your focus button, and this helps you to select between autofocus, manual focus, and infinity focus. The camera comes with 2 card slots, so you're able to fit 2 cards like most cameras these days. You can have the card slot in relay mode. Relay recording allows you to record on one card, and when that card is full, the camera automatically switches to the next card to complete your recording. But you can also set it to backup recording, where the camera records the same thing on both cards. So one of your cards will be your main card, and the other one will be your backup card. You have your built-in speaker, and that outputs your audio when you're playing back. You also have your slot selection function, and that allows you to select what card is accessed when you want to record or when you want to play back. The other feature that is common with many cameras these days are your user functions, and these are pre-assigned to different things. You are able to customize these functions up to a certain degree in the menu system, so you can go in and change what comes assigned to the button by default to something else if you need that to be. Your thumbnail button allows you to switch between the camera image or whatever you're shooting and the thumbnail screen, which shows whatever you've already recorded so that you can play back. The display or mode check button allows you to display or hide information about the settings of your camera. We have many other functions on the outside of the camera that you can access certain features directly, and they are self-explanatory. So you have things like your white balance, you have your shutter, you have your gain, your iris, your menu button that allows you to go into the menu system. Now these buttons like the shutter, gain and iris work as toggle switches. So you switch between automatic shutter, gain or iris, and manual shutter, gain or iris. So when you press the shutter, for example, once, you get access to auto. When you press it again, you now get access to the manual settings of the shutter, and the yellow highlights what you can now adjust. And then you use the multi-dial at the front to change the value of the shutter. And once you're done, to accept the value that you've set, you need to push that multi-dial in to accept the setting. This is only possible when the camera is in manual mode. When the manual forward this camera bit, so make sure you're not blocking any of this while you are operating the camera. And there you are, that's the Panasonic HCX2000. See you next time on Tech Booth.
Hi there. Today I'm going to show you how to set up the Panasonic pad here to show this. And the first item is to select the infrastructure type of network, and also need to do with your camera is to set it up to connect to your wireless network. So you go into menu first, then you go to network. The first menu item, device selection. Next you go to VLAN property, and the first item is to select the infrastructure type of network or a direct ad hoc network, infra select. Then you go to the SSID of your network. So I'm going to select the first one here. Then you go to encryption key and enter your encryption for the router. The next thing you need to do here is to go into VLAN IPv4 setting. And there you have the setting DHCP client. So if you're on a normal router or your phone, for instance, that will share your internet connection, most of the time you want to make the camera a client for DHCP. That's for IP address request. So it will request an IP address from your router.